This is the video for Lab 8. We have the following types of graphs and functions I'm going to go over with you. The first is the constant function, y equals f of x equals b, where b is some type of real number. So b can be, for example, 0, it can be 1, it could be 3, it could be pi. It just has to be a real number. Its domain is going to be negative infinity to infinity. You can see that if we draw a vertical line for each x value, it's always going to be able to touch this line. Its range, however, if you look at it, it can only touch on the y values for when that value is that b value. So its range is going to be limited to b. The y-intercept is going to be 0b, because again that's where it touches, and the symmetry is even. So if you fold this in half right here through the vertical seam, they'll be mirror images of each other. The next function is the identity function, f of x is equal to x, y equals x, which is just going to be the most typical line you can draw. Its range is going to be everything, negative infinity to infinity, just like its range is going to be negative infinity to infinity. The x-intercept and the y-intercept are the same. The only place where this line touches the x-axis or the y-axis is the origin itself. And the symmetry is odd, so if you take this quadrant, just this little square right here, the first quadrant, fold it downwards and then fold it again, you'll have the same image. That's kind of what odd means. Next we have the square function, which is f of x equals x squared. That's why it's called the square function. It is a parabola, a bowl if you will. Its domain is going to be everything. So if you have any x value, it'll always somehow have a point and touch the function. Its range, however, is going to be limited from 0 to infinity. There's no y value down here or for any negative values. X-intercept and y-intercept are the same. The only place where it touches either axis is just going to be the origin right there. And the symmetry is even, just like the first one was. So if you take this square and fold it in half along this seam, they'll be the same. Lastly, we have the cube function, f of x equals x cubed, where the domain is going to be negative infinity to infinity. So it goes from everything to everything. The range is also negative infinity to infinity. X-intercept and y-intercept are the origin. That's the only place where it touches either axis, and the symmetry is odd. So if you take this little square right here, fold it down, hamburger style, and then fold it over, you'll have the same image. And that's the first 4 functions for this lab.